Have you ever wondered what would happen if a predator became prey? This heartwarming story tells the tale of an injured owl who found an unlikely friend in a caring cat. Watch as their bond grows stronger over time, despite their differences in size and species. Witness the amazing kindness and compassion animals can show towards each other as this cat becomes a protector and caregiver for its feathered companion. Months later, something truly incredible happens between these two unlikely friends that will leave you amazed and inspired. The injured owl. Jody Pastor, a Spanish falconer and bird lover, often took his pet owl to the woods for flying practice. One day, while the owl was in flight, a black shadow suddenly rushed towards it. It was unclear what the shadow was or why it attacked the owl. Jody found his injured pet owl and took it home to care for it. The owl, named Gabber, is a beautiful barn owl that has been raised by humans since childhood. It has friendly interactions with humans but doesn't often take the initiative to establish contact with other small animals. Jody often takes Gabber to the nearby woodland to practice flying. It's a part of their daily life. The cat's arrival. One day, Jody noticed that another animal was following him and Gabber all the time. It was Jody's pet cat, Foom, a solid black kitten whose name means smog in Calanese. In the eyes of outsiders, it may be reasonable to be nervous about Foom's behavior. After all, the claws of these two animals are not for fun, but Jody didn't think so. After Foom appeared, Jody witnessed a very interesting scene. The black cat stands on a small piece of soil, jumps up with all his strength, and pounces on the flying Gabber. Although this is a thrilling picture in the eyes of outsiders, it is actually just a game between two animals. The friendship. Foom and Gabber first met in 2010 when they were both very young. In the process of getting along, Gabber would take care of his feline friends and wouldn't make any strange noises when he was around Foom. They get along very well and often stick together like a pair of very good friends. At first, Jody was worried that the game between these two animals was not funny. After all, they are two completely different species. He didn't think they would get along well at all. But over time, Jody found that his worries were unnecessary. Foom and Gabber never showed their fierce side in front of each other. The rescue. One day, Jody decided to take his domesticated owl named Gabber out for a walk in the nearby woods to let him experience nature. He knew that Gabber might be afraid of everything outside because he was used to living in captivity. However, Jody was worried that if he brought his kitten named Foom with him, Foom might get lost and run away, so he left him at home alone. Foom was unhappy about being left alone and decided to sneak out of the house to search for Gabber in the woods. Unfortunately, Jody had taken Gabber to a different location, and Foom couldn't find his way back home as it got dark. Jody became worried when he realized that Foom was missing and went out to search for him with a flashlight while calling his name. Gabber flew up into the air and quickly found Foom, leading him back to Jody. When Jody saw Foom, he felt relieved that he was safe, but he also noticed that the door to his house was open. Jody thought that a thief had entered his house, but he didn't find any signs of tampering or missing items except for Foom, who had disappeared. Jody realized that Gabber was also worried about Foom and that he had misunderstood the relationship between the two animals. From that day on, Jody decided not to leave Foom alone at home anymore and to take him out with him. Gabber and Foom became good friends and would accompany each other whenever they went out. However, their happy days didn't last long as Foom became sick and weak. Jody and Gabber stayed at home with Foom and tried to take care of him, but his condition deteriorated rapidly and he eventually died. Jody and Gabber were devastated by Foom's death and buried him in the woods, where they used to walk with him every day. They wanted to keep the memory of Foom alive and guard him forever in that special place. So, the touching story of Foom the cat and Gabber the owl comes to an end with a bittersweet reminder of the fragility of life. Through their unlikely friendship, these two creatures showed us the power of compassion and the beauty of connections that transcend species boundaries. We can learn from their example and strive to be more caring towards all creatures, great and small. The story of Foom and Gabber teaches us that even in the midst of tragedy, we can find comfort in the memories of the ones we love and continue to cherish their legacy. Let us honor their friendship by spreading kindness and empathy in the world around us, and let us never forget the lessons they taught us about the true meaning of friendship.